What is your American dream?
My American dream is we all get along and love each other.
My American dream is for my grandchildren to have all the opportunity that they should have, fulfill their own dreams, and be fully American citizens.
My American dream is peace, humanity, and justice for all.
My American dream is for people of all faiths, colors, religions to come together and to rebuild a system so that it works for everyone.
We'll all come together and become the democracy that we really are, and the strong, caring people that we are.
My American dream is no poverty, that young black men shouldn't get shot.
My American dream is that we can be a wonderful, colorful, diverse America, that we just all love each other and accept each other as we are.
My American dream is that every single American, every single person on earth is treated with the same respect and dignity afforded to everybody. Every single human on this planet should be treated with love and compassion.
We continue to aspire to what I think we can be as a country, which is what the Statue of Liberty says we are. It's just a welcoming country that's a democracy.
My American dream is a nation of immigrants that loves each other without any barriers of color, race, or class.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Hello, everybody. It is Election Day, November 3rd. If you are a United States citizen, I hope you voted. Their polls will be closing soon in many, many states. Yonathan, Vanessa, how are you today? Everybody is a little on edge.
We are. I hate Ellen.
We've been waiting 4 years. Think about this.
Yeah.
4 years. Every day we come and talk about this effing pumpkin. Every day we say what a horrible...
You said it. Every day.
I'm like hitting myself. I'm so angry. I'm hitting myself. He makes me so angry. And now we have a chance to finally rid ourselves of him. Okay? And I got to say something. If I believe Joe Biden is going to be our president, I really believe that. I even put an informal poll on my Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein, wink wink, and 85% I said, not who do you want to vote for or who you're voting for, who do you believe is going to win? Right. And I believe at this point 85% of the people said Joe Biden. I think so, as I said yesterday, because I said the pollsters can't be wrong. It's just my gut. Pollsters can't be wrong 2 elections in a row. But if they are wrong, I'm going to take a very long trip to a deserted island in the Caribbean. And I'm going to slowly, well, after you hear what I'm going to do, you may not want to come. And you may, and I'm going to slowly rip off all of my clothes. And I'm going to walk very briskly into the ocean, completely naked. And I am going to stay there with no clothes in the ocean on a deserted island for 4 years until I can come back to civilization. And hopefully there will be a civilization to come back to. So that is what I will be doing should,
smoke signals.
A lot of celebrities say they're leaving the country. I am leaving to live in the ocean naked for 4 years. That is what I will be doing.
Your hands are going to get a lot pruny.
I will be I will be extraordinarily prudy, but I'll learn a new language. Fish and dolphins, they speak a good language. I'll pick up fish language.
I mean,
I think the Brad Pod will miss you.
What?
I think Uncle Brad, they'll need Uncle Brad, but we'll understand what you need in order to cope through those years.
Well, it's like when I'll still do the show, and from under the water. Like when I always tell people, "Are you in a submarine? You sound like you're underwater." Well, now the joke's going to be on me, and they're all going to be like, "Uncle Brad, it sounds like you're underwater. I can't hear the answer."
I am,
and I am underwater. I am trying to disappear from the world for 4 years. I can't handle him for 4 more years.
Yeah, this is scary.
Yeah,
this is scary.
Well, hopefully he's the winner. You guys did early voting, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, both of you did, right?
I dropped it off yesterday.
Okay, good. So your vote will count. Yonathan's vote will count. Yes. Let's say hello to the squad, and then we'll get into election on the other side of the schmooze. Why don't we do that, all right? Hello, Jessica Levy, squad up. Deion Watson, squad up. How are you? Deion Watson. Haiti Sharaj. Biden is the president. What does she know that we don't know yet? Or what does he know? Just wait. Don't jinx it.
Right, please.
Don't jinx it, please. Bailey Constance, how are you? Squad up. It's election night. Moya Reed, squad up. How are you? Richard Jason Stewart, we see you watching. Marcia McCullough, how are you? I said Jessica Leamy already doing. Harriet Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Julie Harrington, we see you watching. How are you? Joan Ferguson, with an early question. We'll get back to you on that in a little bit. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Doreen Dappa. Taking her last name from the deferred action for parent arrivals, the process that Obama started and Trump supporters and Republicans and the Supreme Court stopped. But she still wants to bring it back, Dappa. I'm in favor of Dappa. So I like Doreen Dappa. I like her name. Doreen, deferred action for parent arrivals. How are you? Squad up. Elizabeth Francis, I said already. Christine Bennett, squad up, everybody. JJ Clark, how are you? Charmaine Miller, squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Anne-Marie Anderson with a question. We'll get back to you in a little bit. Vanessa Contreras with a capital SQUAD. Up. Rosanna Tagliabue saying, aye. Squad up, family. Rosanna, part of the crew, also a pirate. And Moya Lee, squad up. Miloslav Minkov, squad up. Let's pray for the best outcome and have one amazing show. Why not?
Yes.
Why not?
I like that.
I like that. All right, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready for some schmoozing.
All right, everybody, this is a very, very special evening, and we need you all to please join the Brad Squad on Facebook. This is everybody on all social media platforms. That means Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, any social media platform that you're using, you can all join this VIP page. And the best thing that you can get with that is you will be able to throw in your question anytime throughout the day. All right, and we'll take the first 5 questions for social media check-in. Now, please, we need you all to please share this video right now on Facebook, because this is going to, like I said, a very special evening. This is a special episode. We're going to be helping so many people. If you guys have any questions about what might happen, what could happen that Brad could ask, make sure you guys ask that. The only way people are going to know that is if you guys share. So please share to anyone's page. You could share it in an inbox. You could copy the link and send it in a text message app. But this is very important. We could not get this show out without your help. All right. And now, like I said, throw in your questions right now. This is like I said, this is a very special show. So we're going to have a lot of people throwing in their questions. I need you guys to throw it in the comment section right now. Of course, interaction is key. Let us know again. Who do you think is going to win? Now, who do you want to win? Who do you think is going to win and why? Let us know. Please give us a thumbs up on the video. Show your emojis, like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, anything that you're feeling. All right? Now, Ness-Quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
Okay, squad, on YouTube, you guys should already be subscribed to the channel so that you are officially a part of the squad, and make sure that you turn on the notification bell so you know when Brad Show is live. Monday through Friday, and you never want to miss right when we get started. Of course, below you'll find an arrow that says share. And I would like for you to do just that and share. When you click that arrow, it helps you so you can copy the link and you can send it out in a text message, send it in a WhatsApp message, send it to a group of people, a group of family members. You never know when there's someone that you know that needs help with their immigration case, that needs an immigration question answered and doesn't even know that this is a great source for them or doesn't even know that this source exists. You could be the person that connects them to that. So right now is the time for you to go ahead and please share this live stream right now. Of course, most importantly, if you guys love what we do here, if you are a loyal Brad Squad member and you tune in with us every day and you know all the knowledge and all the value that Brad provides, give us that thumbs up. When you give us a thumbs up, it lets YouTube know that there's great things happening in this channel right here, right now. It gives us a boost and it brings in more people into the Brad Squad, and that just helps us grow more and more so we can touch more and more people and help them with the information that Brad has for us. So that thumbs up is everything, squad. I'm looking out for that, or you guys already know that I will delay Brad from answering immigration questions. So I would love to see those thumbs up going all the way up. Of course, if you guys can't catch a full show or if a friend can't catch a full show, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. Follow us there for the best snippets of our show. Every now and again, we do fun games and contests there. So you want to make sure that you are following us on there so that you can stay on point with that. You can always send your questions to our direct message on Instagram. Our squad is always looking out for that. So send them throughout the day and we will get you your answers because that's what we're here to do. But let's get right into it. Schmoozing with Brad.
All right, well, today is election day and it's reported already that more than 96 million people have voted. And I believe, Yonathan and Vanessa, that by the end of this voting cycle, whenever it's over and all the votes are counted and we determine who the winner is, this will be the largest turnout perhaps in American history in terms of number of people voting. There are so many new voters, people who just never voted before, who are now voting for the first time. People who just kind of, didn't care enough. But now I think the stakes are very, very high. And there's concern also about people being harassed at the polls. But so far, from what I saw on the news, I mean, there's some incidences here and there, but for the most part, it's been calm. It's been calm here in New York so far, and I haven't seen anything in the news where there's been great, fireworks where people were prevented from voting. Now, as usual, the race is going to come down to 5 states. Do you remember what those 5 states are? Well, actually 7 states, 8 states it's going to be. Do you remember, you know what the 7, 8 states it's going to be?
Florida's always
Florida,
Georgia, North Carolina.
Texas?
No. Pennsylvania. Texas is going to go Republican. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin,
Alabama,
Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Wisconsin.
Alabama?
No, not Alabama's going Republican. Wisconsin, Arizona. Michigan is the last one. Those 7, 8 states are going to determine it. Now, for Trump to win, he's got to basically run the table on almost all of those states. For Biden to win, he's just got to win a few of those states. Tonight, I believe Florida, we should know, unless it's really, 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 really close, we should have an answer from Florida tonight. And the reason why is because Florida has been counting the absentee votes since I think September 23rd. So they have already counted all of their absentee votes. You're actually going to see the results when the Florida polls close. They're going to come out. The first set of results are going to show Biden in the lead in Florida, because the results that they're going to be reporting are all the mail-in and the absentee votes, and you presume presumably, we don't know for sure, but presumably that will lean Democrat. As the results start coming in for people who voted, in person, we'll see what happens in Florida. Biden wins Florida, he's the president. Done deal. Same thing with Georgia. Same thing with North Carolina. Pennsylvania, if Biden wins, he may very well be the president too, but I don't believe we're going to find the results out about Pennsylvania today. We're not going to find out the results of Arizona and Wisconsin. They're just starting to count the votes, the absentee votes, once the polls close. So we're not going to find out anything about Arizona and Wisconsin. So we'll find out. We'll find out what's going on. You know, Mitch McConnell, you know who he is, right? He's the leader of the Senate on the Republican side. He's up for re-election. What'll be very interesting, because we also want to see what's going on with the Senate. He is expected in a normal year to win Kentucky Senate race. He's going up against a Democrat who was never obviously run for Senate before. He would be expected to win by 20-30%. If you see, he's still expected to win. But if you see the results coming back from Kentucky, and we'll see those results coming back by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight, and you see that Mitch McConnell is in a very, very close race with the Democrat, I believe that is a forebearer for a lot of very close races or Democrats winning over the Republicans in those very close races that we talked about yesterday. There's about 10 Senate seats that are up for grabs, and the Democrats need to win 4 of them if Biden wins, 5 if Biden loses, to take control of the Senate. So, I believe, if it looks like Mitch McConnell's winning by 30-40%, then I'm going to be like, damn, people are still voting for Republican senators. So we'll see what that looks like as well. Regardless, my guess is we're not going to have a winner tonight, unless you see Biden winning Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, those 3 states. If you see him winning and they're going to declare Biden the winner of Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, he's going to be the president. We don't care what else happens in the other states. Meanwhile, 6 o'clock, in about 8 minutes, the first set of polls close in Indiana and Kentucky. I thought Kentucky closed at 7. It's actually 6 o'clock. So we'll see. We will see what happens with Mitch McConnell. That'll be an early forebearer for the night. So, watch what happens in Kentucky with Mitch McConnell. At 7 o'clock, the polls are going to close in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Vermont, Virginia, and New Hampshire. That's all Eastern Standard Time. So the polls are going to close in those states in the next hour and change. Again, you're going to see Biden winning Florida early. But as the night goes on, if he's keeping his lead and they're going to start calling Florida for Biden, he's going to be the president. Same thing with Georgia. Same thing with North Carolina. At 7:30, the North Carolina polls close. Ohio closes as well. Now, Ohio, according to the polls, very interesting. Ohio, most of the polls show Ohio going to Trump. There's a lot of electoral votes. But Biden chose to campaign there in the last few days. I wonder if he knows something, or he has polling data that we don't know, because he chose to spend his time there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Ohio. 8 o'clock, Washington, D.C., Alabama, Delaware, Illinois, Kansas, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, big state, Mississippi, Montana. That's all going Trump. New Hampshire, most likely to go Biden. New Jersey, most likely to go Biden. Pennsylvania closes at 8 o'clock. Texas is expected to report most of its results tonight. Texas is a big Republican state. Biden's been running very, very close there. He's within the margin of error. People are holding out hope, including Jill in my ear, telling me Biden is going to win Texas.
Texas.
So
Okay.
I don't know.
I like that.
Anything is possible.
Wow.
9 o'clock, the polls close in Arizona. We're not going to know Arizona for a while. Colorado, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York. So if you're in New York, you can still vote. Wisconsin, another big state, closes at 9 o'clock. We won't know either what's going on there as well. By 11 o'clock, California, that's going to vote Biden. Oregon, Idaho, and Washington. Most of those states are all going to go Democrat. And at midnight, Alaska and Hawaii, and then all the polls are closed. Right. And then all the polls are closed, and then we start counting, and then the lawsuits will start if it's close. And again, very, very sad situation that in our democracy in the United States, we have unelected judges who may decide our election. I hope that's not the case. I hope that we have a winner without an unelected judge deciding on our election.
And you said that happened in 2000?
That happened in 2000, correct.
Right.
And what they decided was there was, if you remember the hanging Chad, there was a legal, in Florida, you would poke a hole in a ballot. And then there was arguments because the little piece of paper was still hanging from the ballot.
Yeah.
And the argument was, is that a proper ballot? Because the paper didn't fall off. We don't know for sure if that's who they were voting for. Maybe the paper fell off by mistake. So they were having arguments about pieces of paper hanging from when you punched a hole through the ballot.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. I lost my volume. Do I hear everybody?
I hear
you hear me. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
so that's what happened. That's what happened in Florida. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court. There was supposed
Florida always has
there was supposed to be
always something with Florida.
Florida. It's always you know what? Whenever any SHIT goes down, it's always Florida. And whenever there's some crazy sex story, it's always in the UK. Right? What is up with that? Right? Florida and the UK. Right? UK's got the crazy sex stories, and Florida's just got the crazy SHIT going on down there.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Meanwhile, have you taken a walk around Midtown Manhattan?
I just saw videos. I'm too scared to walk around that area.
Yeah, that's where I live. I got to walk around there. That's where I live.
That's why you need to get home.
That's where I need to come up to apartment. What is that? 1A now?
A.
Just A.
A.
I'm coming up to apartment A.
Over here.
Yeah.
They're not coming over here.
Yeah, you know what? When Uncle Brad invades Harlem, it ain't going to be the same anymore. All right? I'm moving in.
You're right.
What is it? The Jeffersons. I'm moving on up.
Okay.
Midtown is bananas right now.
So meanwhile, retailers across the country are stepping up security measures. Tiffany's in Manhattan, right there on 57th and 5th. Saks Fifth Avenue on 5th Avenue on 53rd Street. CVS, Target, Macy's. They all boarded up their stores. All boarded up. All boarded up. Now, the cost to board up the stores, depending on the size of the windows and how many windows they have, range anywhere from $150 all the way to $31,000. But you want to know what? They're saving money because the cost of replacing the merchandise, the cost of replacing the windows is a lot more.
The furniture.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the FBI is investigating the Trump train. Did you see that? The incident Friday when cars were swarming Biden's campaign bus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to. It looked like they were trying to run the bus off the road. Yes. The dangerous caught-on-video highway confrontation led the Biden campaign and state Democrats to cancel multiple Texas events. There was at least one minor collision. Those inside the trunks honked their horns, shouted while surrounding the Biden bus and slowing it down. I don't understand. Isn't Biden supposed to have Secret Service? Where's the Secret Service? Where's the police escort? I don't get that.
So he was actually in that bus?
I don't know. I believe he was.
See, That's why I didn't think he was in that
part
bus.
I didn't get.
Well, who's in the bus? If they're having a Biden bus, who's in the bus? If it's not Biden, it was Kamala Harris actually.
Okay,
Jill is saying it was Kamala, but still, where's the police? Where's the Secret Service?
They should still have some kind of escort.
Yeah.
Regardless if it was Secret Service or not. That's
crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy to me. And also, by the way, according to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, because it is election night, there's now 47.2 million coronavirus cases worldwide. More than 1.2 million people have died. In the United States, over 9.3 million people have been diagnosed with corona. France, Germany, and Belgium all in partial lockdown. The rest of Europe is shortly to follow. Canada is getting battered 2-3 weeks after Canadians celebrated their Thanksgiving holiday. The country is seeing a national spike. And people are very concerned about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be get-togethers for Thanksgiving. And there is going to be a huge spike in coronavirus. Yeah, there's going to be some super spreader Thanksgiving events. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about, the stuffing on the turkey. That's, talk about super spreader events. I mean, I don't know what stuffing on turkey and super spreader events have in common. I thought I was going to have something witty to say.
I thought you were going
I actually was going somewhere with something witty, and then I'm like, nah, forget it. It was corny. It was corny. By the way,
Me too. I was like, I'm ready.
By the way, even though it is election night, and it's a night that we've been waiting for 4 years for, you know what also tonight is? Tea time. It's tea time.
Tea time.
It's tea time. It is tea time.
Oh.
Do we have tea? We have tea. There we go.
That was
Here comes the tea.
I was going to say, you were spoiled the first time.
I was spoiled the first time. The tea came in on time. Here.
We don't see him.
Here he is. He's out of the picture. He's out of the picture. I'm glad that we blocked this really well, guys. Good job. All right.
Well, we have
all right. Well, what do we have today?
We have mint tea today, bro.
We have mint tea today.
Yes.
Mint tea.
Mint tea.
Mint tea.
A little freshening up to,
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Jeremy. I appreciate it.
Take care.
All right. Next week, please block this properly. It'll be much funnier. Okay. Thank you very much.
Just take a sip, Brad. You deserve it. Pinky up.
Yeah.
Pinky up.
Yeah, 1 second.
He said 1 second.
I love it.
I know.
I love this segment.
So let's sit back now and have some tea and see what's going on. Let's just chat amongst ourselves. Did you see? By the way, I hope this will be our last Donald Trump. Hopefully our last Donald Trump crap we got to talk about. Did you see Lady Gaga's reaction after Trump mocks her over her performance in Pennsylvania? Lady Gaga was not content to stop her attacks on Donald Trump after a social media response to the president slamming her at a rally early in the day, on the day before the election. Ahead of Gaga's performance at Biden's rally in the battleground state of Pennsylvania on Monday, Trump took to Twitter to slam his Democratic opponent, claiming Gaga's appearance at Biden's event is proof that the former vice president would ban fracking. Trump tweeted, "Just learned that Sleepy Joe Biden is campaigning in Pennsylvania with Lady Gaga, a proud member of Artists Against Fracking. Appearing as promised, she urged her fans, Pennsylvanians, and all Americans to vote for good person Joe Biden." So let me ask you a question. Is one day before the election for President Donald Trump to start an entire Twitter war with Lady Gaga? Is that this is who we're voting for? That's that's what's most important on this guy's mind?
Honestly, just anything that he does, it's insane to me. It really does not seem real. I saw one of his little events that he was, I don't know where exactly it was, but he was talking about LeBron James, and just talking about how whack he is because they were protesting, and it's that's why nobody watches basketball, and his jump shot is all whack. He's just talking mess about everybody.
He's such a petty president.
Meanwhile, Lady Gaga had a great reply to Donald Trump. She said, "So happy, I'm glad to be living rent free in your head."
Right. I love her.
I thought that was great. I thought that was great. Meanwhile, what's up with the Kardashians? Excuse me one second.
Privilege.
They're still.
Are they overly privileged?
Absolutely.
Are they overly privileged? You know, they don't care about the pandemic. Kim, she rented an entire private island. I made a joke about going to a private island. I'm not renting one. And
for her 40th.
Right.
Yeah.
So she rented one. She threw a party for herself. Hell with the world. Yeah. Hell with everybody else. I'm Kim Kardashian, and I'm going to go rent an island. And not only rent one, but then show off about it. You know, I mean, nobody says, I'm as I watched it, I said, she has money, she earned it, she works hard. Nobody says you can't go spend your money. And who am I to tell her how to spend her money? If that's what she wants to do, she earned it, go spend it, go use it. But why show off in this time and age with unemployment where we're at, with a presidential election coming up, like she don't have a care in the world? Why show off? Why show off like that? Why? I found it in terrible taste.
Distasteful.
It was absolutely distasteful.
My thing is now at this point, this is a part of her brand, so it's like, and this is a part of every celebrity's brand because of social media. So they literally just throw out all the lavish things that they do and, brag about it while we sit here collecting unemployment and like wondering how we gonna eat the next meal.
Yeah, why is that?
It was a big birthday for her, though. It was like her 40th, whatever. That part I kind of got. And I mean, if she would have gotten people together in one of her biggest dates in LA, it would have been an issue too. So, but yes, there's no surprise that this would be the magnitude of a birthday party for a Kardashian.
I don't mind her. I don't mind her actually getting the island because listen, she has money. She got the money. However, she got the money. Like that's her thing. But like, to come out and just be like, yes, so I just rented out a whole island for just me and my friends and my family. That right there is just like, okay.
Yeah.
Bro. Like,
I mean, is it that they're tone deaf? I mean, because here she is 6 months earlier going to President Trump. I went to law school. I'm going to get people out of jail who don't deserve to be in jail. And then turn around and do this. Is it they're tone deaf? Is it that their ego takes over? Is it that they don't seem to know what reality is anymore? Is it some combination of the three?
I think it's a combination of, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's the privilege, the Kardashian privilege. They literally take any man they want. They say anything they want. They do whatever they want and somehow get away with it.
Wouldn't it be ironic if they ended up, the Kardashians, in the super spreader event? I think when you're a celebrity like that, I'll be honest with you, you have an obligation, I believe. And I could be wrong. I mean, maybe celebrities say I don't have an obligation to anybody. But I believe you have an obligation to be a role model and do the right thing. And to me, in this day and age, with everything that's going on, whatever she may have done, trying to get somebody released from jail who was innocent, and I commend her for that. To me, she ruined it all with this. Because what kind of role model are you? And what are you trying to tell other people that they should do? I mean, it's so, to me, so shallow. The whole entire thing is so extraordinarily shallow. And, to me as a celebrity, you have an obligation to do the right thing and have people emulate you. And people say, you know what? The only thing important in life is money and living the good life and what I'm wearing and, you know, where I'm going and how fabulous I am. And you know what? There's a lot more to life than that. And
I'm gonna tell you, there are people that are more rich than her and do 10 times more than what she did, and don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
I know of Tyler Perry taking his whole cast, all his shows just this December, and also earlier this year, taking them all to a private island. But he didn't go to the media and, you know, show that. Only reason why I know is that my cousin works on his show.
Right.
So you know what I mean? That's like a humble movement. Kardashians aren't humble.
Well, maybe that's part of their brand of not being humble.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
It's
part of that their influence. Yeah, I agreed with you very much when you said that, Yo-Yo. And it's like, I feel like especially them, they have so much influence, but they influence when it's convenient for them, depending on what the PR, what their PR needs them to do at that point in time. So yeah, it's always a stunt.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she's not the only sister to run into some hot water. Kendall didn't even pay lip service to the 2-week quarantine safety measures when she threw a star-studded Halloween party amid the pandemic. She reportedly invited 100 people to her party at Harriet's rooftop in Los Angeles just days after her sister Kim was slammed for her lavish 40th birthday. Many people on social media were not happy when photos showed maskless guests and no social distancing. Guests were warned not to post on social media of any kind, but of course you're at Kendall Jenner's party. Of course you're going to. People there included Justin Bieber, Sweetie, Paris Hilton, Travis Scott, The Weeknd, Winnie Harlow, Jaden Smith, and a lot of the other family members. One person tweeted, the mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, mayor of LA, can you find all these celebrities already? They are not above the law. How are you giving fines to nobody, TikTokers, but won't do the same for the most known celebrities?
Right.
One person said, okay, Kendall Jenner, blowing out candles as a masked waiter holds her cake and tries to move out of the way was actually the scariest thing I saw at Halloween. So, and obviously she doesn't care. She'll get all the fines she wants. She doesn't because she's like, all right, I'll pay the fine. Big deal. But you want to know what's not a big deal? God forbid that ends up being a super spreader event. Nobody at that event, this is the problem. Because you would never go into...
You feel they're untouchable.
You would never go down the street, although Donald Trump says he would. But you would never go down the street and take out a gun and just kill an innocent person walking by and say, bang, you're dead. You never do that.
No.
Okay?
No.
But if you attend a super spreader event, you potentially, as we said, Donald Trump, his 18 events killed 700 people. It was scientifically proven. You potentially may not hurt yourself. You may not hurt somebody close to you. But the whole concept of the super spreader event is you may get sick. You may give it to someone else who gets sick. They may give it to someone else who gets sick. And that third person who you've never met, you don't know anything about, dies. And that responsibility, that death goes back to you who may have attended Kendall Jenner's birthday party, but you never know you killed the person. That's the problem.
And you super spread it.
So we have some comments from some squatters talking about the Kardashians and Jenner. So Vivian is saying they aren't the same people they used to be. They are really giving back now, especially Kim. And then also said that, that they're doing a lot for the Armenian community as well. So, there are people out there that, So I feel like that is something that we did touch upon. We did say they're doing a lot for not even only just the Armenian community. They're doing a lot for different communities. But it's more so like if you're going to be, that type of person, somebody who's supposed to be a motivator or inspiration, you kind of throwing out your fame and your money at a time like this, it's kind of in poor taste. And that's just from my opinion, not taking away from all the great stuff that she's done, especially within the past year or couple years. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that.
Vanessa?
I mean, I just feel like, and no matter what, people are always going to be criticized.
I mean,
So
you have
plenty of good.
Vanessa, you have an Instagram account. You have lots of people follow you. Your post, I see what you're posting. I'm in, fabulous party with my friends and everything. I mean,
right.
You do it. Everybody does it to a level, but I think the difference is that you don't have an obligation to anybody yet. Maybe one day you will, but to me, the Kardashians, they have an obligation as role models, and that's where
I agree. I agree on that. And I think that knowing the severity of the case, we should just be more sensitive to it, knowing that there are cases rising and there's a spike.
Meanwhile, to throw oil onto the Kardashian fire, did you see this ridiculousness? Kourtney, the eldest, did you see what she had to say? She is spreading conspiracy theories on Instagram. She reposted an unattributed blurb that read in part, "Those blue masks mandated at the grocery stores and on the airplanes, they have carcinogens and cause cancer."
Oh.
And the American Cancer Society, because she even referred to the American Cancer Society, they said that is hogwash. Not true, never been proven.
No.
So here they are, conspiracy theories.
Yeah, and the amount of followers that they have, and I don't think it's smart to say anything like that,
exactly.
Especially if you don't know if it's true or not.
What's the old saying? Stay in your lane. Are you a doctor? Are you a scientist? Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, Kardashians.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. Meanwhile, sadly, did you see? The original James Bond died this week. Did you see that? That was pretty sad.
Yes, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was. He passed away at Saturday at the age of 90. Connery was the most famous. Do you think he's the most famous Bond? Who's the most famous James Bond in Europe? Or is it Daniel Craig only because that's who you watch now?
No, I mean,
Pierce Brosnan?
I give it to Sean. I
like
did
the
Sean
original.
and Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was like one of the first ones that I watched when I was growing up. So.
Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite Bond?
Pierce is mine.
Really? Because that was when you were growing up.
Yeah, so that's what.
Yeah.
That was the first
we're
one I
only
saw.
familiar with what we know. Oh,
Right.
He's so handsome. He is so handsome.
Yeah. And
Whoa,
he's your
that's
favorite
it.
as well?
I'm just saying. I just like that shot. He looks so badass. I don't know. We'll save that for a Wednesday, I guess.
I know who I want to see as Bond.
Jake,
though.
Who?
I want to see Idris Elba.
Black Bond.
Elba.
Black Bond.
Yes.
Why not?
He is. And he's British. He deserves it.
Why not?
He's an amazing actor.
Well, I
feel like
I think Daniel Craig said he's not going to be Bond anymore after. I think he said this was his last Bond, if I read properly. But maybe I didn't read properly because I have to renew my subscription to People Magazine. But I believe when I did read People Magazine, he did say this would be it. And he's pointing that gun right at me. He's pretty scary looking.
Yeah, right. I don't know why.
Pierce Brosnan's pretty scary looking
that's
too,
it.
pointing that gun at me. Yeah, one of the Bonds was filmed in Jamaica. There's actually a hotel called GoldenEye in...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they actually... I don't know what happened at GoldenEye, if they filmed it there, or it's... Maybe some of our Jamaican viewers can fill us in on what GoldenEye... I know it's a hotel.
Put it in the comments.
I know it's a very famous hotel in Jamaica, and it's very romantic. So if you want to go on a romantic weekend, I believe that's a very romantic place to go. But I don't know. I don't know why they call it GoldenEye. If it was maybe one of the producers of the James Bond movies owns it, or James Bond was filmed there. Something with that. But some relationship between, right?
Gotcha. Well, let us know in the comments.
All right. Well, I have to tell you something. My tea's getting a little cold. We have people who are calling with immigration. Do you think you want to end tea time, or you want to have some more tea? You want me to pour another glass, or are we ready to move on?
think it's
No, we can
fair
move on.
for people to move into what they came here for.
You want to give them what they came here for? Give them what they want.
Give them what I think they like this though.
Give them what they want. I mean, I have. Jeremy left me extra tea. I can pour more tea. We can talk more. Or you know what? We'll have some more tea. Why don't you come back next week on Tuesday, Yonathan and Vanessa, and we'll have another spot of tea. We'll have some more tea. How's that? All right. So meanwhile, in today's Braducation, I answer the question: if my adjustment is pending, can I leave the United States of America? If your adjustment of status application is pending and you leave the United States, you have abandoned your adjustment of status application. Your application will then be denied. You will not be allowed back into the United States. The only way you can leave the United States while you have a pending adjustment of status application is with an advance parole, pre-approved travel document that you obtained prior to getting on an airplane or a boat or in a car to drive across the border. If you have the advance parole document and you have a pending adjustment of status application, you are free to go, but only go for a very short period of time, a week, 2 weeks. All right, let's do something we like to call, you got a question? I got an answer. And answer your immigration questions. All right, let's go to Lisa in Marietta, Georgia. Lisa, how are you?
I'm so excited. Hi, Brad.
How are you, Lisa?
I am very excited, and let me get this out before I forget.
Sure.
Thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let me get to it.
Okay.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
One, I filed for my husband and 3 stepchildren. They're in Nigeria, so yeah, we have to deal with that ban. Hopefully not after the day,
you may have no more ban in about 60 days if we got a new president.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, I noticed that I made a couple of mistakes. Yeah. I had an attorney file for my husband, and then I filed for the children. I'm not concerned with the minor area I did for my husband. It was just a work time frame issue, like by a year. So I'm not really worried about that. The main issue is I made a mistake on 2 of the stepchildren's application concerning, there's a question on there that says, have you ever filed for this person, anyone else? I filed online.
Okay.
And so my brain was not registering.
Who else did you file? You filed for the stepchildren.
Say it again?
Are you saying because you didn't say you filed for the stepchildren then?
Right.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But here's the thing. I did file for my ex-husband a long time ago. And so I marked it. I wasn't thinking. Mm-hmm. So my question is, would it be better for me to send in proof and a letter?
No. If they have any issue with anything that you made a mistake, it happens. Especially you do it online. Sometimes you click something wrong. If they have any issue, they will send you what's called a request for more evidence and say, hey, you claim you never filed for anybody, and we see you filed for Joe Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. I don't know why I said that, but anybody, you filed for anybody. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, you can say, yeah, that's right, I forgot. I clicked, and you'll respond back with your explanation on why you forgot to include Joe Jonas as an applicant that you filed for. But you'll give that explanation when the time comes. If they ask. If they don't ask, then they don't ask. Move on.
Okay, I was afraid that they would look at all 4 of them like, hey, she did it for 2, but didn't miss it for 2.
No. They'll either just be like, whatever, they don't care, or they'll send you back at RFA. And then respond. But never. But a good rule of thumb: never try to correct something with immigration unless you are in person at an interview, or they send you a letter and give you an opportunity to correct it. Don't randomly do it, because it's not going to further your case in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Second question: the travel ban.
Yes.
Like, is that something that they give? They present when my husband goes for his interview, or is it something I'm supposed to do on my end when that time comes, or is it either or?
They won't schedule an interview if he's banned.
I'm sorry.
They will schedule.
And our country is just falling apart tonight.
Excuse me, Yonathan. What they would do is they would approve the I-130. You'd process at the National Visa Center, but they won't schedule. They'll transfer the file to Nigeria, but they won't schedule him for a visa appointment. That's what would happen.
So he'll just sit in limbo until.
Correct.
Wow. Until we either. Okay, so then how? I'm kind of confused now. How does the travel ban work then?
In other words,
that's not the question. That's not the question.
Okay, so let me explain. I understand what you're saying. How the hell do you get your husband here? You're not worried about today about a travel ban because you don't have the visa petition approved yet.
Right.
Okay. Your visa petition won't be approved till sometime next year. They won't be eligible for their green card appointments till next summer. You're not worried about travel ban today. You're worried about what's the law going to be next summer. We don't know yet. So that's why I tell everyone from Nigeria, file and let's see what happens.
That's what I was. Okay.
So you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's go to Samantha in Queens. Samantha.
Hi, good afternoon, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and good afternoon to your team as well.
Thank you.
They're doing a great job, and you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. If someone receives emergency Medicaid, will that affect their chances of getting a green card?
No, because remember, or maybe you don't watch my show every day, but the Northern District of Illinois Federal Court put an injunction on all of Trump's poverty guideline laws, so we go back to the old laws. So getting emergency Medicaid, it's not a good thing for your case, but as long as you're off it, you're not expected to get it in the future, and you have a good affidavit of support, you should be okay.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. That's the question I have for today.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Ori, how are you?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
I do.
Hey, how are you? So, my name is Ori. I have a question. So, I have a 10-year green card, which means I'm pretty good. Now, my question is that if I decide to join the military with a 10-year green card, what's the naturalization process inside the military, or it's better to do the naturalization process the civilian way?
Do it through the military because you only have to show you're in the military 1 year, and they'll process everything for you, and they'll make sure you'll become a citizen much faster than if you do it the civilian way, because they want everyone in the military to be a citizen.
So if I join the military, it's going to be around a year?
1 year.
1 year.
Correct.
Is there any new law that went by? I saw something online, or no? It's 1 year from the day you join.
1 year from you join, and they'll do it for you. And I don't know the exact time frame, but I know it's faster through the military than through a civilian.
And since COVID hit, if I'd like to apply the civilian way in New York or whatever, it's going to take a longer time because you.
Even if you let's say you're eligible for your citizenship now, it's going to take 1 full year before you get an interview.
Before I'm even going to walk to an interview, it's going to take a year at least.
Correct.
Oh wow! All right, so pretty much military would be quicker.
Yes, if you want, but don't join the military just to become a citizen quicker. Join the military because you want to join the military.
Yeah, I know. I just want to make sure, the process, because.
Yeah, but yes, I would presume that if you join the military now, it would be faster for you to become a citizen.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Samuel. Samuel in Atlanta. Samuel.
Yes. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how are you?
Good evening. Hey, can you hear me?
I do. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm so happy to call. I've been trying all this while. You are doing a wonderful job. You are so amazing.
Thank you very much.
So wonderful.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
I am. The first time I came to America was 2015. I just came for business. Then I left about 3 days. Then on 2017, I came back again. Before I came back, I have problem in my marriage. So I divorced my marriage April 17, 2017.
Did you get a green card?
No.
Never got a green card. What was the problem in your marriage?
The problem, I have a problem with my marriage.
What was the problem?
Back home.
Oh, back home, not here in America.
No, yes,
Oh, okay.
back
So,
home.
so you got a problem back home. Where's back home, by the way?
Yeah. It's a what?
Where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
From Nigeria. Okay. So you had a problem with
Yes.
your marriage back home. You came back to America. Did you do the divorce in Nigeria or in America?
Yes, I did divorce in Nigeria on 17th of April before I came
I'm
here.
just going to give you just 2 cents for all the people from Nigeria. If you are in America and it is possible to do a divorce in America, do your divorce in America, because the U.S. government questions every divorce from Nigeria these days. They're making my life and everybody's life who's coming with a divorce from Nigeria crazy. Continue.
So what I'm saying, I divorced on April 17th, 2017.
Right.
So my visa, the first visa I obtained 2015, expired around August. So I renewed the visa. Then when I renewed the visa,
what is the question? Tell me the question, and then we'll
okay,
go back.
the question is that when I was renewing my visa, I made a mistake because it was renewed by a company. Then I did not change my marital status from marriage to divorce. So when I
let me
came
ask
down
you a
here,
question. Between me and you, you know, or the travel agent who did it knows, that you're more likely to get the visa married than divorced, right?
Say that again.
You are more likely to get a visa to come to America married than single. It's a fact of life. So maybe you made a mistake, maybe the travel agent made a mistake, or maybe you were like one of those emoji monkeys.
Yeah.
Maybe you're one of those emoji monkeys who just closed their eyes. I don't know. Anyways, continue.
The first time I applied the visa, I was married then.
I understand.
Then,
I'm telling
but the
you,
second time,
I understand. What I'm telling you is that it's unlikely as a single man from Nigeria to get a visa. So people say they're married even when they're divorced. That's the embassy catches people like that all the time. But you didn't. It's fine. You claim you made a mistake. That's fine. I'm just saying lots of people may question that. But let's hear the rest of the story.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that then when I was renewing my visa, the visa agent did not change the status because we don't go for second interview. We just renew the visa.
Okay? So you have a misrepresentation. You're back in America.
Yes,
You're claiming.
exactly.
You're claiming, at least to the world right now, you're claiming it was a mistake. Okay. Some people will not believe you. I can tell you that. But
is that what?
I said many people in immigration won't believe that story. But they're going to say it was done on purpose so you can get the visa, because if you were single, you wouldn't get it. But,
no.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not arguing with you. I'm on your team. I'm just telling you what's going to happen in immigration. So now, are you married here?
Yes. So when I came down here, actually when I came, my plan was to stay for a while and still go back. But in the process, I met a lady. Then we now start getting
let me tell you what your problem is. You got 2 huge problems. Number one, you have a divorce that you're going to present from Nigeria that the U.S. government questions every divorce that comes out of Nigeria these days. It doesn't matter where the divorce comes from. They're questioning it. Now, divorces from Nigeria are supposed to come from the high court. People bring divorces from the high court, and the U.S. government says, this divorce is BS. Now you're going to go into immigration, and you're going to say, I'm married to this lady. Here's my divorce. And immigration is going to say, you're not married to this lady. We don't believe this divorce. And then you're going to have to prove that divorce is a legitimate divorce. And then immigration is going to say, well, you're not going to get your green card anyway because you lied to us. You said you were single when you said you were married when you were single. Then you're going to need to file a waiver. Samuel, and you're in Atlanta, Georgia, which is the worst immigration service to deal with. You need help, man. You're going to need some help. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Needs help. There's no answer to that question other than you need help. Let's go to Nicolette in Brooklyn. Nicolette.
Hi, Brad. Good evening. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, my question is, I petitioned for my husband. I'm a green card holder, and his I-130 was approved. but upon doing the civil paperwork, I found out that he has a conviction
For what?
for carnal abuse. That he got 2 years probation for.
What abuse?
2000. He got a conviction for carnal abuse. Carnal abuse. I think. Carnal abuse.
Is that sex abuse?
He's labeled as.
Is that sex abuse?
When he was 20 years old, he was messing with this girl that was underage.
Okay. So he has a conviction for statutory
He
rape.
did 2 years probation.
He has a conviction for statutory rape. Sexual abuse of a minor is an aggravated felony. You can't get a green card with that.
So that means they're going to deny it once it's
Most
at
likely.
NBC, even though it.
Based on what you're telling me, yes, but I would have to look at what exactly he pled guilty to. I would have to read the statute. I don't know the statute of what he pled guilty to and what jurisdiction and what country, but he's got a huge problem.
Oh, it's in Jamaica.
Okay, I don't know the statutes in Jamaica off the top of my head, but I can tell you that if you pled guilty to a crime that involves sexual abuse of a minor, which includes statutory rape, then, even if it was consensual sex, it's statutory rape under the law, he's not going to get his green card and there's no waiver for it.
Even though it's in 2006?
Even though it was in 1941.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Mohammed in the Bronx. Mohammed.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I'm fine. I just have a question I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Gambia in January 8th, and because of the corona, I spent more than 6 months over there.
Where do you work?
I was in Gambia. I went for vacation for Gambia.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm already. I have a green card already.
Uh-huh.
So I went for vacation for Gambia for 3 months.
Right.
And I finally stayed there more than 3 months, almost 6 months and a half.
But you're back in. I see you're in the Bronx now.
Say again?
I don't know. I just almost had my ear blown off by the subway that went by. But you're back in the Bronx now.
Yeah, I'm in the U.S. right now.
Okay, so you came back on your green card.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your question?
So when I came back, I decided to file the citizenship, but I was still in Gambia. So how can I fix that one?
Well, you would have to show that you did not abandon your permanent residence in the United States. Perhaps because of COVID, you weren't able to come back. That would have to be your argument. I was not abandoning because if you stay more than 6 months out of the country, the law considers you've abandoned your permanent residence. There's a presumption that you abandoned it. Now, it's a rebuttable presumption. So you can say, well, I didn't because of A, B, and C. A being coronavirus. B, there was no airplanes. C, I have all my apartment here, my clothes here, and my car here, my family here. I'm domiciled here. Of course I was coming back. I had no intention of ever abandoning it, and then it's up to an immigration officer. But you certainly should have a lawyer argue that on your behalf.
So I need a lawyer for that.
Yes. Hold on one second. Because you know what the law says, to be citizen, 30 out of 60 months in America, no trip more than 6 months out of the country. So you have a trip more than 6 months. So now you got to argue that you never abandoned your permanent residence. So hold on. Let's go to Ruhal in New York. Ruhal. Rahul.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah. Recently, I got a little problem with immigration. That I came here as a F1 student visa, and I got married to a green card holder. And I submit my application, and I made a mistake that I work unauthorized. And recently, this month, I had an interview.
You got denied.
And because of that.
Because let me explain why. When you're married to a U.S. citizen, unauthorized employment is not a reason to bar your green card. When you're adjusting your status under F2A, unauthorized employment's misrepresentation. Or a violation of your status, actually, so you wouldn't even be able to file a waiver. It's not even a lie, you just violated your status. So now you got to wait on your wife to become a citizen and hope they don't put you in deportation. You've already screwed up.
Oh, okay. So she can apply in next January after 12.
All right. Well, now you got to pray you don't get put in deportation between now and then. But there's nothing you can do.
I didn't get you.
There is nothing you can do. You screwed up because you don't know the law and you just randomly filed an application. You can't work illegally, unauthorized employment, married to a resident, even if you were in legal status, and expect to adjust your status.
So
you screwed up. So you screwed up. There is nothing anyone can do. You admitted to unauthorized employment. You are barred from adjusting your status. There is no appeal. There's no motion. There's no, can I fix this? There's no waiver. You effed up. And you effed up because you just randomly filed papers and thought you understood the law when you have no idea what the law is. So
we went to a lawyer and he said,
then your lawyer's an idiot. And then you're not, you picked the wrong guy or the wrong woman. So unfortunately, that's what it is. There's nothing anyone can do. You got to wait on your wife's citizenship.
So is there any chance to get, by that time, I could be deported or something?
That's what I said. I pray you don't get put in deportation. You get your money back from your lawyer. He committed malpractice.
And how long that process, I mean, for the deportation?
Years. Don't worry. Come have a consultation with me. You'll be fine. Just mad at you because you filed dumb crap. But come see me. Even if you put in deportation, we'll figure something out. Michael George in Newark.
Yes, Brad. Good night.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm a client of you already, but I needed your personal opinion on this matter.
Yeah.
I just got my green card to my wife, who I've been married 4 years with and have a kid. But when I married my wife, I was filing my paper for asylum. I just withdrew the asylum because I got the green card through her.
Right.
Question: is it going to be a problem since I withdrew the asylum application if I apply for a passport from my country? That's A. And B, if I do apply for it, would it be a problem or cause any trouble for me if I travel on the passport?
You can apply for the passport, absolutely, because you would want some photo identification. You can travel with that passport to other countries, but if you were to go back to the country where you claimed political asylum from because your life is in danger and you're going to be persecuted, and then lo and behold, you get married to a U.S. citizen, and the next day the sun comes up and says, oh my God, guess what? I'm not persecuted anymore. And you go back, you've made a misrepresentation. You've lied to the government. So you can't go back to your country, but you can travel to other countries with that passport, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm asking about.
Yes, absolutely
okay.
You can.
And what about applying for visas to other countries? Do you think that will cause a hiccup?
No. You never got your asylum. I was going to say you can get a refugee travel document, but because you never were a refugee, you never got granted the asylum.
Yeah, because I waited 4 years for the asylum and then
you can use your passport to travel to any country you want, get visas in it. Just don't go back to your country.
Okay, thank you. And another thing, why is it taking so long with my case with you with regards to immigration? It's a year now my wife filed for my daughter.
Coronavirus. Donald Trump. Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Guy by the name of Miller who doesn't want any immigrants here. But come see us, okay? You're our client. You can come in. Hold on.
All right, thank you.
All right. Let's see what else we got. In today's Attorney Close-Up, Spar and Bernstein trial attorney David Moreno talks about the importance of voting. Let's watch.
Go out and vote. However, don't only vote in the main election, the main event, the one that they condition you to think is the only one that matters. Our branches of government are broken up into 3 separate branches for a reason: executive, legislative, and judicial. Legislative makes the laws, judicial enforces the laws. Judges in most cities are elected, right? Do your research and make sure you get involved in local elections, because guess what? Those are the folks that are going to affect your day-to-day life the most. And in the executive branch, they often can't move without approval from the legislative branch. So while you should go out and vote in the presidential election, and it's very, very important, I'm not going to minimize that. The local elections are just as important, and they should be taken just as serious.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. All right, what do we got?
All right, our first one comes from Terrell Wayne, and this is a Brad Squad member. Remember, I told you guys, if you want to throw in your questions anytime throughout the day, make sure you join the Brad Squad, the VIP page on Facebook. So this is Terrell Wayne. I have two friends who are Jamaican who had B2 visas. Then they went to the U.S. Embassy to obtain a HB2 visa, and the counselor canceled the B2 visa before granting them the HB2 visa. Is this common?
No, they should not have had their tourist visa. It's an H-2B visa, which is a seasonal worker, but they should not have had their visitor's visa canceled. That's unfortunate. I don't hear you, Vanessa. You have to unmute yourself. Every day.
This one comes. Well,
yeah.
I just like to be prepared.
I know.
Samira Rikoa, also from the Brad Squad member page. On behalf of the petitionary regarding I-129F, should I send the beneficiaries PP a photo with the 129F? Can I print a passport photo from an email? Does this 2-year rule apply if there's a pandemic?
Should we read that again, because I didn't fully understand the question.
Okay, on behalf of the petitioner regarding an I-29F, should I send the beneficiary's passport photo with the I-295F, or can I print a passport photo from an email?
No.
Does the 2-year rule apply?
You need a passport photo. I don't know what 2-year rule. I-129F is a fiance visa, so I'm not sure what 2-year rule they're talking about. But you would get married here in the United States, and they would apply for their adjustment of status immediately. So I guess the 2-year rule, meaning would they be a conditional resident? The answer is yes. But you can't print out passport photos. Have a real photo.
Okay, Lisa Douglas on YouTube asks, I have my combo interview coming up for my I-751 and N-400. Do I need my lawyer with me?
You're asking a lawyer? If you need a lawyer.
Yes.
We always get that once a month.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you take the time and energy to ask that question, you know in your gut what the answer is.
Yeah.
Right?
This is very true.
Okay.
So yes.
The answer is yes.
You should have your lawyer.
Correct.
Jay on YouTube. What does prima facie mean in a VAWA case?
Prima facie means they took a look at it very quickly, and it appears you have all the elements of an approvable case. That means now you can collect government assistance. That doesn't mean you will get approved, but it's always a good sign.
Okay, Village Ram asks, I've had an approved VAWA since January, but nothing has happened yet. Should I wait, or do I need to do something?
Well, you should have a pending adjustment. If not, you should file one.
Supan Adi, a friend, is a green card holder. He went to Thailand to see his wife, and while he was there, he got an NTA for removal proceedings. There is no court date in the notice. Can he enter back into the country?
Yes.
Okay, Joan Erica on Facebook asks, can my father petition me after he becomes a citizen? I'm presently a DACA recipient. If yes, would I be able to adjust my status in the United States, or would I have to go back to my country to adjust?
Well, if you're over 21, you'd have to wait on a waiting list for 5 years, and we don't know what the laws will be in 5 years, but if, the laws stay the same, you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back.
Tufik Uzma on YouTube. How long does it take to get a RFE for bona fide after an interview?
Could be 1 week to 1 year, and anything in between.
Okay, Gagandeep Singh on YouTube asks, how many days does it take to get a biometric appointment after opening a service request for biometric? AOS spouse, I opened a service request on October 2020.
Oh, you'll wait forever. Service requests are absolutely meaningless.
Yikes.
Indel Jose Goyo on YouTube. Interview was scheduled for I-485, married U.S. citizen, asylum pending. Do I have to withdraw the asylum before interview or after decision in I-485? Can the asylum delay the decision in I-485?
Yes, you have to withdraw before the decision. Yes, it could delay the case if your asylum file is not matched with your marriage case at the time of the interview.
Okay, and that's it for right now.
All right. So, as today is election day, and people are voting on who will be the president of the United States of America for the next 4 years, the coronavirus rages on in the United States with the highest death toll at 20%, even though we only make up about 4% of the global population. For this reason, we thought it was important to listen to my discussion with Kristen Urquiza, who spoke at the Democratic National Convention about her late father, who passed away from coronavirus. Kristen blames her father's death on the carelessness of politicians and leaders, including Donald Trump, who she says her Mexican-American father supported and trusted when they said the virus was not a threat. Let's watch. Kristen Urquiza's father, Mark Urquiza, died from coronavirus on June 30th at the age of 65. Kristen spoke at the Democratic National Convention, blaming his death on the carelessness of politicians, including Donald Trump. She stated that her father's only pre-existing condition was trusting the president. Not letting her father and other COVID victims die in vain, she has founded Marked by COVID and is working with Nuestro PAC in order to get the vote out. Kristen joins me today. Thank you for being here, Kristen. My deepest condolences to you. You wrote an obituary.
Yeah, I wrote an obituary in which I stated that my dad died from COVID-19, but that also his death, like so many others, were preventable. And it was due to the carelessness of politicians who continue to jeopardize the health of brown bodies over, in their coronavirus response.
Now, that obituary ended up having you speak at the Democratic National Convention the other day. Let's watch that.
Hi, I'm Kristen Urquiza. I'm one of the many who has lost a loved one to COVID. My dad, Mark Anthony Urquiza, should be here today. Dad was a healthy 65-year-old. His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump, and for that, he paid with his life.
So, tell us a little bit about your father.
My dad was a very generous individual who loved his family and friends. My dad was a guy that you could depend on, and he didn't deserve the ending that he got.
Now, you're an only child. How did that affect you? How did that affect the rest of your family?
With my parents, I always saw it as part of my responsibility to pull my weight a little bit in the household. And as I grew older, during the beginning of the pandemic, I was on the phone in January and February with my parents saying, this is really dangerous. We need to come up with a plan because I'm worried about you.
And your father's response to that was?
My father listened, my mother too. And, at that time we still don't know everything about coronavirus. What we did know is that, people with underlying conditions, might be more impacted. And my mother is diabetic. So we were all nervous about her health and making sure that we came up with a plan to keep her safe. So my parents were always believers as news came forward during the shelter in place to wear masks and social distance. They were, good to adopt those measures and work with me to keep figuring out how to mitigate risk as new information became available.
In your obituary, you wrote about the carelessness of politicians, the spread of misinformation.
Starting in, late April, early May, the Trump administration started to push this idea that we had to open up the economy at any cost, that we had to choose between public health and the economic health. And, what that message was taken and run with, several governors, including Doug Ducey in Arizona, where they were quick to reopen and took it even steps further, saying, we are on the other side of this pandemic. If you do not have an underlying health condition, it is safe to be out there. Those are direct words from my dad's governor. My dad listened to the governor. He voted for the governor. We're told in times of crisis to listen to the people in charge. That is what my father did.
Do you think, looking back, there was something that you could have said to your father that would have changed his mind? I know he went to a karaoke bar that probably he shouldn't have gone to.
I wish that I could find something that I could have done more. But I think part of why I have been so public about my experience is that I think I'm an example of an individual who went above and beyond in really cataloging my parents' activity, talking to them on a daily basis about what they were doing, bringing them more information, and kind of really interrogating their activities. You know, personal responsibility can only go so far. We also need it coming from the other side, in which our elected officials need to be issuing guidelines that they are working together on for a coordinated, data-driven national response. We can't have one without the other.
Did your father respond, say, well, Donald Trump says it's okay, my governor in Arizona says it's okay, he says there's no more coronavirus?
So in late May, when Arizona had opened, my dad and I talked about what he was doing. You know, he parlayed to me in a conversation, Kristen, I hear what you're saying about not going back to normal, but why would the governor say it's safe if it's not safe?
Now, after he passed and you wrote this obituary that went viral in the Arizona Republic, how did it make you feel?
The reason why I've come forward is because I represent tens of thousands of people across the country who are going through the exact same experience as me and who are not being heard.
Now, after you wrote the obituary, Joe Biden, the Democratic national presidential candidate, reached out to you. He wrote you a letter. What did it say?
It's actually right here. It said something to the extent of, I want to extend my deepest sympathy and love as you mourn the loss of your beloved father. And then it goes on to just share some very heartfelt condolences and some advice on just turning back into family and to be there. His prayer for me and your family is that one day my dad's name will bring just a smile to my lip instead of a tear. It was just very heartfelt and kind and nice.
And how did that go to you appearing in the Democratic National Convention giving a speech in favor of Joe Biden?
A couple weeks after I received the letter, I got a message from the Democratic National Committee asking if I would be interested in participating in some way with the convention. You know, I really thought about the opportunity and decided to take it, not only because it's a real honor, but also because, again, I wanted to be very clear that I am one of many people who are feeling this way and have been impacted by Donald Trump's terrible leadership. And it feels like the more that I raise my voice, the more I see others coming forward. And I have been really inspired by that.
Now, in your speech at the Democratic National Convention, you said that your father had no pre-existing conditions. His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump, and for that, he paid his life. That was the most powerful sentence I heard that entire evening. What has the response been to you since that went around the world?
I've had an outpouring of people working to connect with me and chat with me to learn more about my story. I've been also receiving so many messages that I can't keep up with of people who have said, you are speaking for me. I have lost this loved one, or I have a loved one in the hospital and I don't know what to do. I'm upset with Donald Trump. What do I do? So it's been overwhelming, but also so inspiring in the sense that I believe that when people come together, we're able to change the world. Listening into the convention, that's been reiterated as well from President, Obama, talking about democracy being active. We need to participate, and I'm seeing people ready to participate. And I think that will not only help us elect somebody who's more compassionate to the office, but we need that going forward to continue to make sure that these folks prioritize us when it comes to COVID recovery and response down the road.
Now, you're part of the Nuestro PAC talking about Get the Vote Out. And that's dedicated to getting out the Latino vote. And you just actually released a new commercial with with you in it. Let's watch some of that.
My father died of COVID in an ICU room with a nurse holding his hand. My father, like so many others, should not have died from COVID-19. His death is due to the carelessness of Donald Trump and the politicians who continue to jeopardize our health through a clear lack of leadership.
So did you ever think a year ago that you were going to be such a vital part of getting Joe Biden elected?
I don't think I would have thought that. I do know that I was planning on playing some role in the elections in the sense of I wanted to support the Democratic nominee, whoever it would be, to replace Donald Trump. But I wasn't expecting to be talking to folks about the loss of my father. And quite honestly, I'd rather be knocking on doors right now than doing this.
Now, you also started the organization Marked by COVID. Obviously, Mark is your father. He passed from COVID. Tell us a little bit about that and what this organization is doing.
Yeah, thanks for asking. We decided also the name Marked by COVID because we want it to be a space and a home for folks who have been marked or impacted by COVID in a variety of ways. So it's about folks that we've lost. It's about the people we stand to lose if we don't prioritize public health. But it's also a place for workers and others who have been impacted by our COVID response in other parts of the economy. And so right now we're working with people who have been impacted or marked by COVID to help them work through ways in which to engage their local or federal elected officials and share their stories and hold them accountable. And we're growing rapidly. And I've talked to who've been impacted, Brad, it makes me so proud to be an American. These folks are just inspiring, that through their grief are willing to take a stand for their beliefs.
How does it make you feel never having to be able to say goodbye to your dad? He died alone in a hospital bed. Nobody was allowed to see him.
My dad didn't deserve that. And how does it make me feel? I think about it every day. I wouldn't wish that ending on my worst enemy. And that infuriates me as well as brings, a huge knot to my stomach and my throat.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing. 170,000 people died alone. And the funeral, I assume you couldn't have a big funeral?
That's exactly right. Taking it one step further as well, I'm not in the same household as my mother, so I couldn't even hug my mother during this whole crisis. This has been the most unusual way to deal with the most awful situation. And so I've needed to be really strong to keep myself together. We need to get serious about our coronavirus response and hold those accountable like Donald Trump who have failed us.
Now, your father was a Trump supporter. He was also Mexican-American. What was it as a Mexican-American that he liked, because it just blows my mind, that he liked about Donald Trump? He called all of his friends and maybe even your father a rapist and a murderer. Says, you're a potential rapist and a murderer. You're from Mexico. What did he like about him?
I've never quite understood fully, but I can share with you some things that might help color the situation. So my dad was a Republican for most of his life. I do know that he liked the fact that Donald Trump was a businessman and that he promised to bring a different perspective to the position. But I think primarily as an opportunity, one, to distinguish himself from his parents, but then also to be safe. It hasn't been safe to be culturally vibrant in this country for a really long time. And so while I'm speculating here, I seem to think that there might be something there for my dad that, had something to do with how his politics developed over the course of his life.
That's very interesting, the need to want to assimilate and be like an American, whatever an American would be. Statistically, coronavirus is disproportionately hitting Hispanic and Black and brown communities. What are your thoughts about coronavirus hitting these communities, especially? Why do you think it's happening, and what should we be doing about it?
This is part of the reason why I came forward as well. My community that I grew up in, which my dad lived in, Maryvale, is 70% Hispanic, mostly immigrant, low-income folks, people who worked in the grocery stores or in the fields, hospital workers, et cetera. And, they had the highest proportion of cases in the state at the time in which Arizona had the highest proportion of cases per capita in the world. It was ground zero. And even here in San Francisco, we've been able to keep our cases really low and our deaths really low. But if you look at the numbers a little bit deeper, half of the cases are in the Hispanic Latinx community, while that community, we only represent 15% of the public. So this is a systemic issue. And I think that what coronavirus has laid bare is this longer and broader system of decisions and systemic racism and how it's really taken hold of our communities so that, people of color are bearing the brunt of this virus. And I think that's what fuels me to be so outspoken, because these literally are the people who are the skeleton crew in our economy whenever we were shut down. These are the folks on the front lines keeping us afloat, and yet we're not prioritizing keeping them safe, making sure that they have what they need to not just serve us, but to hopefully thrive and have opportunity in this country. So yes, it's something I'm very passionate about.
What would you say to Donald Trump?
We need to have a federal mask mandate. We also need to make sure that people who are sick have the financial support to stay home.
I don't know why masks became political, and I don't even understand why science is political. We're arguing whether climate change is real or not. Scientifically, it's real. There's been a scientific study that has been done in a controlled group that says masks work.
The way I think about it, part of it has to do with our federal priorities for quite some time, right? So we are a reflection of how we spend our money. And the federal budget overwhelmingly goes to defense projects, which, while national security is a priority, it shouldn't eat up so much of the budget that we don't have funds for education so that people can learn what is the scientific method, so that, we can't have a social safety net so that when people stumble, they have an opportunity to have a second chance.
If people understood what a scientific method is, nobody would question science.
Exactly. Education has become more of a check the box versus a journey in learning and an investment in our future. And if you look at places like Japan and China around the world, they have a totally different approach to the way that they think about education than we do here in the US.
Let's hope, just for education's sake, that Biden wins, because we know his wife Jill is going to make education a priority. She herself is a teacher. This is a show about reaching your American dream. Tell me about what your American dreams are. Have they changed? And have you reached them? And if not, what do you need to do it?
My American dream is that we build a more perfect union that really centers equity and opportunity so that all people can thrive. I care so much about this country as being an engine for us to really see human potential. And, I hope to play a small role in that journey of making that happen for other folks.
Well, Kristen, thank you very much for coming on. I really, really appreciate your time. My condolences again on your father. You have done an unbelievable job. You were so sincere and so on point. You're very, very well spoken. You're going to do wonderful work promoting everything that you believe in. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Brad, for having me.
All right, let's do something we like to call the speed round. 9 questions, 50 seconds. Yesterday we were able to do it. Let's hear it for us. Elias and Vanessa.
Yeah, we were.
Let's hear it for us.
We're going to do it again.
All right. I like that. I like that energy. Let's go.
Yonathan. Where we at? There we go.
All right. I'm staying in the shelter temporarily. Will this affect my AOS?
No.
Can I change my EB3 to a spouse visa?
Sure.
What's the minimum wage requirement for being eligible for an H-1B visa?
Minimum age, you need a college degree or equivalent. That's what you need.
My H1 was approved. How can I get an approval copy or case number?
Contact immigration or do a FOIA.
Came on an H-1B visa, got married, the marriage failed. Can we still file for an immigration process?
Sure.
Will seeking mental health services affect my immigration process in being a citizen?
No.
Can I remain in the U.S. if study work failed?
You remain in the U.S. if what?
Can I remain in the U.S. if study work failed?
I don't know what study work failed means. I don't even know what that means.
Study work fails.
I don't even know what that means.
What is a study work?
What's a study work fails? I don't even understand what that question means. That's really unfair to give me a question that makes absolutely no sense.
Wait, is
these others were long though?
The siren too loud too?
Maybe a little bit, but yeah, because you were coming in low, but still, study work fails. That's not even a question.
Can I remain in the U.S.
Blow me up with a question that makes no sense.
Work study? Did they mean work study?
Yeah, but I don't know what visa are you on? A J visa, student visa? What do you want?
And then mine would have been, is it possible to move to naturalization interview to a foreign country?
No, you can't have your citizenship interview in another country. No, that is not, you cannot do that.
And last one is, are DV 2022 programs eligible for two Canadians?
Probably not, because a diversity visa is for diversity in the United States, and we have lots of Canadians. So, comments of the day, guys. Comments of the day. I don't think nothing against our friends in Canada, but I don't think the U.S. is short on Canadians, right?
Yeah.
Right. Diversity visa is to get people from countries that don't normally immigrate to America.
Right. All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day comes from Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, Brad, you need me to make you my ginger tea with raw honey and turmeric, hun.
Ooh.
Oh. Ooh, now we're getting
maybe she's gonna be maybe she could drop some off and it could be served to me next week.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
The next one comes from Meme Surrey, and they say, squad up, Uncle Brad and team. Thank you for being my sunshine in my storm. Keep up your good work.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Oh. All right, our third comment of the day comes from the one and only Marge Higgs, saying, Brad Bernstein, aka Mr. Fix-It. When your armchair lawyers mess up, just see him. There's nothing too difficult for him to fix.
I haven't said armchair lawyer in a while, but yeah, that's funny.
We haven't heard about that.
Yeah, we haven't heard that. Right. Stop being an armchair lawyer, right?
Yeah, we used to say that a lot.
Yeah.
This next one comes from Tisha Mitchell, and they say, squad up, hope everybody voted, and if you are not able to vote, that you made your reminder to your family and friends who are eligible to vote. Very important.
All right, I agree with that.
Yes, and we have one more.
One more.
This is the one that closes it.
R.R. Jones saying, Biden for the win.
All right, yes.
We need to close on that note.
All right, we are going to all sign off now. We're going to go home and watch the results come in. I am going to be like this for the entire night.
Yes, get home safe, Brad.
Tomorrow's show will be a fresh start.
Oh, I hope so. Do I hope so. All right, everyone stay safe, please, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.